What's up, guys? Okay, so I got back from my epic viewing of Titanic at like 8 p.m. It had started at like 4:30 and it was like done by like 8. So yeah, that was insane because that movie is super long, which I should have remembered, but I kind of forgot. But yes, as you can tell, I'm still having my goggles on, my 3D goggles. By the way, if you haven't seen Titanic, you need to watch it. If you haven't seen it in theaters, you need to watch it. If you haven't seen it in 3D, you need to watch it. Go to the theater right now, get a ticket, and go and watch the movie because it's freaking epic. Not just Titanic the movie, but Titanic in 3D. Awesome. They did an awesome job. It was epic. I was so happy. So happy. So I kind of wanted to watch it, wear like a fun outfit, but I decided against it to just kind of go plain. Also, I couldn't find my necklace that I wanted to wear, the Heart of the Ocean necklace. But when I came home, I did a bunch of digging throughout like everything in my closet and everything like that. And then I realized that I couldn't find my social security card, and I was like, "Oh my god, where's my social security card?" So then I had to go looking for my social security card. Finally, found my social security card. Then after I found my social security card without having a panic attack, I went and started looking through other stuff again. And then finally, I found it. I found my Heart of the Ocean necklace, guys. Look. So back in the day when the Titanic movie first came out, um, I went with my parents to like a museum. It was like a traveling museum of like the Titanic stuff. And I was really obsessed with the movie. I really liked the movie. Um, and so we went and saw all the cool like artifacts and stuff and everything, and we touched the iceberg and blah blah blah, or what the iceberg would have felt like. And uh then at the end, I remember my parents saying that, okay, you can get one thing from the gift shop if you want. And I was torn between two things. I wanted this necklace so bad because it reminded me of the movie in Titanic. Um, and then the other one was I wanted the other thing was like real coal from the Titanic. And I was like, that's freaking epic. That's history right there. My sister ended up getting the coal, and then I ended up being the jewelry type of girl, and I ended up getting the necklace. I don't know where her coal went, but I decided this is when I keep stuff. It may go in some sort of digging area, but I find it eventually. This has brought me to my next thing of what I plan on doing today. I haven't brought my violin out in a very long time, but I heard some violinists. Obviously, the Titanic theme song is like one of the only songs I can actually play on the violin. So, for you guys, which you probably heard this song already, I will do you the honor of playing the Titanic theme song. Well, not the Titanic theme song, but one of the Titanic songs for you, just in case you haven't heard it in a while. First of all, let me make sure that my violin's tuned because it's been really weird and acting up, and I haven't played it in a long time. But I did practice on it before this. Give me a second, take these shades off because they're kind of 3D and messing with my vision. Okay. Let's see. No, I don't want an ad. I really wish I could do YouTube no ads without like paying for it. YouTube ad. Sponsor me, YouTube. Sponsor me. Okay, all set. Just want to make sure that was all right. As you can see, if you've never seen this before, this is my electric violin. If you have seen it before, this is a reminder of my electric violin. I had a regular violin, but they're very expensive, and I can't pay for them before. When I took violin lessons, my parents paid for that, my violin, and yeah, I can. However, this is my original bow that I used to have, and it is purple, which makes it the best color ever. I love it. So I have stuck with my normal regular bow, and shall be playing on a lovely electric violin. Why is this feeling good? Oh, you're right. Oh my god, did I put the shoulder rest on wrong? No, you're wrong. There we go. All right, give me a second because I'm like, let's see, Lindsay. Are you an idiot? Did you, in fact, place your shoulder rest on wrong? I think you did. That shows you how long it's been since I played my violin. I literally placed the shoulder rest on wrong. And like didn't even notice while practicing. Technically you don't need a shoulder rest. It's just helpful. Makes it less, well, I mean, then you have a place to rest your shoulder. Rest the violin on your shoulder. Okay. Okay. That's my classic violin Titanic song. Now, I pushed myself a little bit to try to do a Celine Dion song-ish. Kind of. I have to think of it, what I was saying. I might have to think of the song. God damn it, now I can't remember what it was. I don't think that was a Celine Dion song, but you know what? It was another Titanic song. Also, I forgot to show you the rose in my hair. I did wear that to the theaters. See if I can do this one. This one I wouldn't have practiced. Those two I practiced. This one I did not practice. So let's see if I can actually do it. Almost had it. Right at that last fumble at the end zone. Almost had that. Okay, sorry. Fumble at the end zone, but that was me playing My Heart Will Go On for you. My heart will go on for you. All those lovely fans out there just chilling and listening, watching my videos, looking for updates. That's those are for you. Those videos, those songs are for you. Yeah. So about that. But yeah, so lovely things. And whenever I do this, I usually end up like looking at facts about the Titanic, and I learned at the theater that I'm not the only one who does this. I thought that was just me, but apparently it's not. Because literally the person sitting next to me was like, "Oh yeah, I do that too," and I'm like, "Cool, great. I'm not crazy." Well, I'm not crazy like all the time, but I am crazy some of the time. Sorry, I'm just literally just putting my violin away. All right, so I have my Titanic book, and I haven't actually looked at it at all today. But I did want to. Oh shit! I'm putting a violin bow away. Release some of the tension because you don't want it to be super tight when you put it away. Violin facts. You want it to be tight when you're playing it on the strings so it doesn't like bounce up and down, but you don't want to keep it that way when you have it stored, or else it will just be really bad for your violin. Anyway, sorry. Should I have it like that? Wow. No, can't do that. Can't do that. Go like that. Okay. Anyway, so I always end up usually bringing out, either looking stuff up or bringing out my Titanic historical facts book. Like I said, I'm gonna show you my rose thing because I happen to have it. And yes, so we will go through this, despite the fact that this video is already 13 minutes long. Oh look, it's the Titanic. Isn't she beautiful? She's now at the end of the bottom of the ocean. At least I think that's the Titanic. Oh look, it's the Titanic at the bottom of the ocean. Introduction, building the legend, the voyage begins, ship of dreams. Oh, that's a good one. That fateful Sunday, a deadly encounter. Ooh. To the lifeboats, death of a Titan, rescue aftermath, questions, discovery, the Titanic legacy. Let's go to the end, shall we? 210. Ooh, this is a good question. Look what picture I went to. Like literally the perfect picture to show you guys. From point A to point B. That's what we look for. Ooh. Okay, cool, another picture. Discovery, at least at the front portion. You know what? As I was watching the movie Titanic, I was like, cool, they're looking at the Titanic. And I was really like, cool, they're only looking at the front part of the Titanic. I'm like, where's the back part of the Titanic? Like, where did that land? Have they found that part of the Titanic? Or have they only found the front part of the Titanic? Because, like, they really seem to only be specifying the front part of the Titanic. I wonder to see. So, there appear to be no... Okay. So, 1986 is when they first found the beginning, the front of the Titanic. But it wasn't until 15 years later that it was able to, like... Wait, but it was not until 50 years later that technological developments combined with a renewed interest in the Titanic made the search and salvage venture possible. Wow. That's insane. Let's see. Trying to figure out like where the other part of the Titanic is. Like, cause literally I'm only seeing this portion. Oh wait, here it is. Damage sustained by the Titanic stern section. Mostly evidence in this review above. Looking aft on the starboard side, appearing the decks collapsed down on each other. Upon ow. Is that what is this literally? Holy guacamole. Is the stern the back of the ship? I don't know. Search area. Okay. They expanded their search area to the east to where the Titanic's lifeboats had been found and began laboriously blah blah blah. A boiler that could only have belonged to the Titanic filled the screen. As it turned out, the wreck was a tiny corner of the original search area. Mile grabs. Titanic had made 12 days, 10 dives. The ship back in the storewood. After the stern rose out of the water, broke in two. It's reported. I think the bow is the back of the ship. Section of the aft. Oh, okay. The section of the ship that was kind of the bow contained the engine rooms and was simply too heavy to remain intact. The break occurred at a weak point in the structure caused by the larger open spaces, including the aft grand staircase. Oh, that's kind of interesting. As the ship's plunged to the bottom, the three remaining funnels were swept away, taking most of the rigging with them as cables dragged along the boat deck. They knocked away most of the something. Okay, the bow, still structurally intact, glided to the bottom at an angle, striking nose first and bearing 60 feet into a slit. Oh, not a slit, into a silt. The bow, still structurally intact, glided to the bottom at an angle, striking nose first. The bow's the back, right? And bearing 60 feet into a silt. As this part of the ship settled to the bottom, plates buckled and ruptured along both sides. The aft part of the bow bent slightly while the forepeak remained buried in the mud at a sharper angle. Meanwhile, the stern section, which, unlike the bow, had not fully filled with water. I'm so confused. I thought the stern was the one that got... I thought the bow was the back and the stern was the front. really, really confused right now. Because the stern section, he says, yeah, the stern, I'm just quoting the movie, and then the stern turns vertical, blah, 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 which means the top. Oh! I'm an idiot! The stern turns vertical. Meanwhile, stern section, which unlike the bow, is not fully filled with water, plunged straight down. The incoming water forced out the remaining air, wreaking havoc and damage. The, wait for it, poop deck, which had formed the roof over the third-class lounge and smoking room, was torn open and folded back onto itself. The stern hit the bottom hull first, landing with such force that the decks accordioned down onto one another. The sides of the hull bulging outwards, scattered all around the area was a huge debris filled littered with objects that fell from the ship, and as she broke into huge sections of hull plating and main piecing decks landed only a short distance away, together with cargo cranes, beds, springs, dishes, bottles, basins, window frames from public rooms, light fixtures, and hundreds of other objects. Oh. The wood decking and furniture were nearly all gone as were the human remains. Thank God, that would have been really creepy. That were once scattered around the bottom. Only a few pairs of shoes separated by sea they once rested. That's interesting that the wood remains were kind of gone. Nonetheless, the wreck remained in a remarkable condition. Okay, so the stern is the back. I have figured it out. Okay, guys. The massive damage seen by the stern section is most evident in the view above, looking after the starboard side. It appears as if the decks collapse down on each other. Okay. AKA, my question is answered. This is the back portion of this ship. And this is what it looks like. Whereas the front lovely portion went this way and it planed, and then it went like into almost like a mud bay, which is why it almost is more intact. But that one that you're seeing here, this picture here, just went flat down and collapsed in on itself. And if you look at this picture down here in the corner, shows you how far apart they are. That's how far apart they are. Now, anything I say comes from this book, so please do not copyright me. I really don't want to be like told like handcuffed or something like that and be like, yes, you have stolen all the information, blah blah blah. No, I really did not. I'm trying to inform you on what happened. Okay, let's see. All right. February-2.11. Okay, crazy. That's an interesting picture. I don't know why it's sideways. It's supposed to be sideways? I bet it's set up. Let's see. Underwater exploration of the Britannia wreck. Oh. I was like, that has to be a different ship because that's not how the Titanic. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff on this. Whoa. guys want to see the unsinkable Molly Brown? Margaret Brown, whose behavior in Lifeboat number 6 gained her fame as the nickname Unsinkable Molly Brown. It was a full hour after the Titanic struck the iceberg that Captain Smith gave the order to send the distress rockets. Holy shit. A ship visible off the port bow, however, showed no sign of responding. Are you fucking kidding me? A ship visible off the port bow. Wow, they're shitty people. But this is Margaret Brown. The Unsinkable. I think they did a really good job casting the woman in the movie. Whose behavior in Lifeboat number 6 gained her fame and nickname. I can't believe Titanic struck the iceberg. Captain Smith. Full hour. I can't believe it took him a full hour after Titanic struck the iceberg to give the order to send up the distress rockets. A ship was visible off the port bow, however, they showed no spawn of response. That's bullshit. They said the CQD thing was pretty much the precursor to whatchamacallit, SOS signal. Oh, let's see. Those are people. I'm pretty sure that the Marshall Field people were on there. Like, you know, Mr. and Mrs. Marshall Field. I think they were on the Titanic when it sank. Let's see. Some pretty cool pictures. Oh, these tours look so, like, exactly on point to the ones in the movie. I'm like, no joke, seriously. Oh, snap. No one ever know what thoughts flashed through First Officer Murdoch's mind as the wall of ice passed along the starboard side of the bow. Yikes. Hard to port. But it was too late. Betraying no emotion, he now rang the watertight door alarm and threw the switch to close the doors. The collision had occurred at 11:40 p.m. Ironically, by reversing the engines, Murdoch had actually made the collision more certain. Like all ships, the Titanic turned more quickly, the greater her forward motion. Murdoch had not only stopped the engines, but had reversed them. Each second that the propellers reduced, the ship's headway was a precious one. Had the Titanic turned just a little more, perhaps only inches, she might have missed the iceberg completely. A moment later, Captain Smith rushed onto the bridge. What have we struck? An iceberg. Struck. An iceberg, sir, Murdoch replied. I put her a hard starboard run, and runner stick the engines full astern, but it was too close. She hit it, and I intended to port around it, but she hit before I could do any more. Wow, all this stuff is literally word for word from the movie. Or, you know, same. Seriously, did not know yet. So the collision had occurred in 11. Ironically, by reversing the engines, Murdoch had actually made the collision more certain. Like all ships, the Titanic turned more quickly, the greater her forward motion. Murdoch had not only stopped the engines, but had reversed them. If you consider, turned a little bit more, the inches. That's interesting. Shut all the dampers. It's interesting. All of these things are like said in the movie. It's insane. I'm like seeing here things. I'm hearing. It's like hearing what happened into the movie. It's so cool. Like I feel like this guy just. I feel like James Cameron grabbed this book from me. There's ice ahead. Is someone there? Yes, what do you see? Iceberg, right ahead. Thank you. Iceberg, right ahead. All speed astern. I also wonder if... I thought there was like some sort of idea that if they had just hit the iceberg head on, like there would have been obviously people, there would have been loss of people, and there would be damage to the ship, but the ship wouldn't have sunk, and not everybody would have died. So this is a really cool picture of what one of the rooms looks like, which is definitely reminds me of Titanic the movie. Just saying. Ooh, fun. Life in the third class. That's really interesting. Second class rooms. Oh, the barber shop. They had a barber shop and a gymnasium. Huh? They had a gymnasium just like in the TV show. The TV show. In the movie. I wish they could have used the barber shop in the movie. Look at that. That looks awesome. You just like go get a shave for no reason. What? Are you kidding me? All these things were actually on there? The Turkish baths? That's freaking epic. A swimming pool? I like jump in the ocean, dude. I actually don't. The reading and writing room. The Cafe Parisian? Designed to emulate a Parisian sidewalk cafe. This room next to the restaurant on B deck was unique to the Titanic with its genuine French waiters and casual decor. The cafe was popular with Colonel Gracie and his set which included successful author Helen Churchill Candy, I think. The Verdonchi Cafe? I have no idea what that means. Alrighty, let's see what we got. First class staterooms. Fun, fun, fun. The dining saloon. Reminds me a lot of what I saw on the TV show. TV show. I keep on saying TV show because I've been watching so much TV lately. Not a good thing. So much movies. Ooh, the first class staircase. Look at that. Look at my baby. Always be my baby. Oh man, I really want to go to that Tennessee place where it has everything Titanic related. On each landing of the staircase, spacious entrance halls were lit by gold-plated light fixtures and had cozy seating areas. On D deck, the staircase led into a white-paneled reception room which adjoined the dining saloon. Survivors recall admiring the oil paintings that decorated the landing of the Titanic staircase. Similar paintings from Olympic... I have no idea what that is. I think that's a ship. Purchased when she was scrapped in 1935, today adorn the walls of the Crown Hearth someplace in England. Blah, blah, blah. Etc. If you're watching this video still, thanks. Thanks going on this Titanic trip of James with me. Whoa. Whoa, guys. This is a long one. Okay, guys. You asked for it. Full size. Everything you need to see about the Titanic. Yes. This is the Titanic. Oh my gosh. Interesting. This is interesting. But I won't go into that detail. The first class lounge. Oh, fun. Aren't you fancy? So cute. From the Odell Lounge. Okay, the voyage begins. Blah, blah, blah. Nobody gives a shit. Oh man, they made a really good guy to play, whatchamacallit, the captain? Look at the captain. That's a picture of the captain. Doesn't that guy in the TV show look like super close to him? You jump, I jump, remember? I'm looking for like, and this is really morbid, like how many people did die? Seriously, how many people died? 180. Let's see what happens on page 180. Oh, I'm very close to that. History of the third ship. What? Okay, I don't know what that means at all. Questions. I'm trying to see if I can find like, oh, there was a approximately. Although American-British inquiries both condemn Captain Stanley Lord of the Leonard Line, California, for his failure to come to the Titanic's rescue, his case continues to provoke controversy. Was the ship he and his officers saw that night actually the Titanic? If not, could there have been a third ship in the era when both the Titanic and the form from the California? So yeah, this is the ship that they said that they saw. Remember the answer to these questions. A carefully sifting evidence seriously holes in the case against Captain Lord. On the evening of April 14th, 1912, the Californian first saw the steamer's lights approaching shortly before 11 p.m. No one on the Titanic saw another steamer's lights until over an hour later, long after the liner had stopped. California lay motionless in the water the entire night, but many witnesses on the Titanic said that the vessel they saw seemed to be approaching. This is supported by common sense. If the steamer appeared some time after the Titanic stopped, it must have been moving, however slow to its speed. In a nutshell, although both the Titanic and the California were stopped dead in the water, the ship seen by each was in motion. That is weird. So another ship, that's that ship that they thought was going to help them, but then didn't? That's weird. In the wake of the British inquiry, the lives of the most prominent witnesses could never be quite the same. As a result of unfavorable publicity, Captain Lord was forced to resign from the ley line in August 1912. I have no idea who Captain Lord is. However, in January 1913, he was hired by someplace else. Okay, something else. Of all of those who survived the Titanic tragedy, Mr. Bruce Ismay, may have suffered the most. No shit, Sherlock. Once safely in collapsible seat, which is I think one of the boats, Ismay deliberately faced the other way as the Titanic sank, a gesture that could stand as a metaphor for the rest of his troubled life. Numerous editorial lampoon managing what? Oh my god. I can't believe it. He must have regretted his, more than once in the years I found, he must have regretted his own revival. In all. Oh, I found it! I found it, guys. Okay. I found the lost and saved, and this is the one that we want. Okay, here is our lost, saved men, women, children, book portion. All right, so I will read it to you because it's hard to see. Okay, first class, lost, 119 men, saved, 54 men. Women and children. 11 women and children were lost. Saved 145 women and children. So a total of 130 people were lost in the first class, and 199 people in the first class were saved. Second class, 142 men were lost, but 15 men were saved in the second class. 24 women and children were lost in the second class, but 104 women and children were saved in the second class, which is a total of 166 lost in the second class, but 119 saved in the second class. Third class, 417 men were lost, but 69 men survived, which is actually the highest of all of them. So far. 119 women and children died. They were lost. But, surprisingly, 105 women and children survived, which is more than the second class, which is a total of 536 losses and 147 saves. Ready for this? Crew, 682 men were lost. 194 men were saved. Lost, 3 women. Saved, 20 women. And that gives us a total of 685 men and women, because there were no children lost, because there were no children in the crew, and then saved 214. So that was a surprisingly amount third-class passengers who did survive. More third-class men survived than second-class men, which is surprising to me. More people in the third class survived than people in the second class. So goes first, third, and then second. That's really surprising. Interesting. Let's see if there's one more page, and I swear it will be the last thing. I know this is such a long video, but it's so interesting. The sinking of the Titanic was described by 17-year-old survivor Jack Thayer to Carpathia passenger LD Skim something, who sketched these rough drawings. Of interest is the fact that they show the Titanic breaking in two before sinking rather than going down intact. 12. This kind of makes sense. Interesting how he says it breaks. This dude knew what he was talking about. Like, either, first of all, the fact that his name is Jack really cracks me up. uh, like, he had timestamps. He says it settles this way. Like, it hit this. And he's actually a really good artist. Settles by head, boats ordered out, settles forward, stack, breaks between stacks. Okay, I see how this backward portion is going up. Forward end floats, so it breaks. The forward end, instead of breaking this way, it breaks this way? Like, I'm kind of confused. I'm confused on how they showed it in Titanic. In the movie, saying that they showed it one way, and in this guy's showing, I think, kind of showing it just a little bit differently. Forward end floats, then sinks. Pivots amidships, I don't know what that means, and swings over spot forward, and swings over spot where forward section sank. Dude, I'm glad this guy made it off the Titanic. Last position in which Titanic stayed 5 minutes before the final plunge, and that's the back end. Forward end floats. So it's like it's going down, and going down. Cracks in half. Then this, and then sinks and goes this way. And then it pivots. He says it pivots and swings over to the spot where the forward section. Oh. So, like, it doesn't actually go down? Huh. That's interesting. So instead of when it going down, it goes down on the people, it actually pivots and turns. That's cool. I gotta show you the picture of this, because it goes against the conspiracy. It goes against the theory of how. Oops, sorry, wrong side. Okay. Can you see it? All right, cool. Look in that. It goes against how they show it in the movie Titanic, because this is saying that it broke in half, it stayed up, then the front part fell down, and then the back part, like, instead of falling down on people, it just pivoted midair. It pivoted midair and then sank. So instead of falling down, it says it pivots. Now that's interesting. Whew. Interesting. I do find that interesting. Interesting, the idea that it pivoted instead of it doing that. Okay, so this book is called Titanic, an Illustrated History. Text by Don Lynch, like David Lynch, but Don Lynch. And paintings by Ken Marshall. So, if you want to know more about this, look it up, buy it. No, I am not promoting it. It is literally just a book that was on my bookshelf and that I like. Sorry this video is so freaking long, but I wanted to love you guys because I haven't loved you in so long. I hope you watch it. If you don't, that's okay. If you only watch part of it, that's okay too. But I have some fascinating facts that I love, and I love to share them. I appreciate you all. Watch it in short bursts. Watch 15 minutes here or there. I'll be happy with that. Thank you guys. Love you. All right.